Hello there, a very good morning and welcome to another edition of the Talk of the Town. Joining us this morning is the Executive Director of Transparency International Sri Lanka, Attorney at Law, Nadishani Perera. A very good morning, Nadishani, and welcome to the show.
Nadishani, now, it's a known fact that there's much corruption going on in Sri Lanka. Nothing really seems to be materializing as far as justice goes. However, it's important to identify these corrupt actions, these issues, address them, and take action against them or initiate action against them even. Best example being Transparency International Sri Lanka had petitioned the Supreme Court against the orders that were placed under the Indian credit line to procure medicine, that the proper procurement guidelines were not followed. The medicine that's being brought down to Sri Lanka is dangerous. And today we can see that those facts that you said way back then have become a reality. People are dying. There is a criminal investigation ongoing now. What's really taking place with this case, Nadishani, as far as the progress of this matter?
Well, the case is progressing in terms of, it will go to the argument stage and so forth. But the good thing about the initial case that you referred to is that we were able to get an interim order preventing the importation of that entire list of drugs using the Indian credit line. And
so already there were certain drugs that were imported, and those drugs were distributed, administered to people. Now people are dying. Now people are losing their sight. Now people are suffering. But as a result of the action that Transparency International filed, several other drugs, or many batches of those drugs, were not brought to Sri Lanka.
Yes, at that point. And now we have more situations that have developed with the whole immunoglobulin situation, which was not known at that time. So that's another procurement we are talking about, a problematic procurement.
So, Nadishani, now when it comes to dealing with these kinds of corruption-related matters, now Transparency International Sri Lanka is an anti-corruption organization advocating for transparency in Sri Lanka's governance structure. Justice seems to be slow, and justice delayed is justice denied. So how do you propose that the country really progresses forward in addressing, but there are many corrupt issues, but if we're focusing on this corruption in the health sector of Sri Lanka, that is claiming the lives of people, mind you, it's amazing, or it's surprising to see that people can disregard a person's life for something as simple as money at such a massive scale. So moving forward, what do you think really can be done? What do you think should be done to address this very specific corruption issue that has, really sent shockwaves across Sri Lanka?
So we need to start with accountability, because now already there is evidence that something was done, pure corruption, and money, public money has been spent to get these drugs where finally, which was, without any certification, and ended up harming the person, and now there is no manufacturer of the drugs to be found. I mean, it's an amazing case of, like you say, such level of disregard for human life. And what is very important is that the legal process that has started, the police case, this needs to be able to proceed without any sort of interference. At least people need to get some hope that this impunity that this country is suffering with, like what you said, where you don't see accountability for corruption, you see actually that high-level corruption, especially grand corruption, what we call. I mean, the white-collar criminals just get away all the time. I mean, we have a very bad track record in terms of holding them accountable, but if you're a small guy doing some small kind of level of corruption, you may actually be caught. So this is what even people talk about, and that prevents people, deterring people. So you think you can get away, So therefore, this case that has shocked the nation, we need to see actual accountability. So that's the first thing. Thereafter, you need to see what are the corruption vulnerabilities within the mechanism, within the health ministry, that enabled, that gave the space, the opportunity for these parties involved to do this. Because otherwise we might address this, but the system, there might be a problem in the system, in the mechanism. So, what are the different situations of levels of approval? What is the procurement, the mechanism? Is there a law? Now, in fact, it's not just health ministry. So, we don't have a law on procurement. We have national guidelines that are not in a uniform way followed by the public institutions. So first of all, we need to address that. This has come up as a recommendation also in
But there was a time in Sri Lanka where there was a National Procurement Commission that really oversaw all of these procurements. What happened to the commission?
Well, you know, that was removed by the 20th Amendment, then it was brought back. Now the question is that they need to be empowered, given the resources and the space to do their job. They are supposed to provide oversight and guidance and lead the process of bringing in a proper legal framework for the country and then enabling the institutions to implement it.
And that's it from the Talk of the Town for today. It's back to the Morning Fix on Yes 101.